I walk across the African savanna under a hard, white sun, my boots pressing dry grass flat, while the horizon shimmers with heat. I am a white man, 35 years old, with black hair cut short, wearing a dusty beige shirt, dark pants, and worn leather boots, moving alone through open land dotted with acacia trees. The air feels too quiet, broken only by distant wind and the subtle movement of tall grass bending in slow waves. I stop when I notice the rough bark of a large acacia tree ahead, its trunk scarred and wrapped with thick, coarse rope. I step closer and realize the rope is not abandoned, because it tightens around my own torso and arms, pinning my back firmly against the tree. My wrists are bound behind the trunk, the rope biting into my skin, forcing my chest forward and locking my body in place. I face straight ahead, unable to turn my shoulders or step away, my breathing shallow as I test the restraints and feel they do not give. The savanna stretches endlessly in front of me, flat and exposed, with no shelter, no vehicle, no other humans in sight. Then I see movement in the grass directly ahead, low and deliberate, parting the yellow stalks with controlled weight. A full-grown male lion stands in front of me at a measured distance, its muscular body illuminated by the sun, its mane thick and dark around its neck. The lion's eyes stay fixed on me, unblinking, assessing, while its tail moves slowly from side to side. I remain tied upright against the tree, my legs free but useless, my balance forced forward, completely exposed. The lion does not roar or charge, it simply holds position, its presence heavy and undeniable in the open savanna. I feel sweat running down my face, my heart pounding visibly in my chest, as the distance between a bound human and a wild predator feels terrifyingly small. The rope holds firm, the tree stands immovable, and the lion remains directly in my line of sight, calm, powerful, and close enough to change everything in seconds. The lion takes a slow step forward, and the distance between my tied body and its massive frame shrinks enough for me to feel the heat of its presence. I remain a white man of 35 years, black hair darkened by sweat, pinned upright against the acacia tree with thick rope crushing my chest, and locking my arms behind the trunk. The male lion lowers its head slightly, muscles rolling under golden fur, its paws pressing into the dry savanna soil with controlled precision. The rope does not loosen when I strain against it. Instead, it tightens, forcing my shoulders back and my balance forward, making escape impossible. The African sun beats down without mercy, drying my throat and blurring my vision while sweat drips into my eyes. The lion circles a few steps to the side, never breaking eye contact, testing angles while my body remains fixed and exposed. I realize my legs may be free, but they cannot move me away, only tremble beneath my own weight and fear. A sudden gust of wind pushes the tall grass aside, revealing how completely alone I am, with no vehicles, no tools, no humans anywhere in sight. The lion stops again, closer now, its breathing slow and steady, its tail flicking once against its powerful hind legs. Time stretches painfully, as every second increases the chance of a fatal decision made by instinct rather than hesitation. The rope scrapes against my skin as I shift, reminding me that the tree is solid. The bindings are deliberate, and my vulnerability is absolute. I understand clearly that if nothing changes soon, the calm control in the lion's posture can turn into a lethal action without warning. I force myself to breathe slowly, keeping my eyes fixed on the male lion while my mind searches for any action that does not trigger an attack. I am still a white man, 35 years old, black hair soaked with sweat, my body locked upright against the acacia tree by thick rope crushing my chest and pinning my arms behind the trunk. The male lion pauses its movement, its head slightly lowered, its muscles tense but not released, giving me a fragile window measured in seconds. I shift my weight carefully, not to escape, but to change the angle of my body, reducing direct eye contact without turning away completely. My movement causes the rope to creak softly against the bark, and I freeze instantly. aware that any sudden motion could trigger instinct. The lion reacts by lifting its head, ears rotating forward, reassessing me as something uncertain rather than immediate prey. I use the moment to slide one knee forward, lowering my center of gravity as much as the restraints allow, making my posture less upright and less confrontational. The savanna wind carries my scent away from the lion, and I remain absolutely still, allowing the predator to process the change. The lion exhales, slowly, its chest expanding and contracting in a steady rhythm, and it stops advancing. I recognize this pause as my only chance, not to fight, but to survive by remaining controlled and predictable. The rope remains tight, the tree remains solid, but the lion's posture shifts from imminent strike to cautious observation. For the first time since being tied to the tree, I feel the situation stop escalating and hover on the edge of a different outcome. The male lion suddenly shifts its weight forward, muscles tightening in a way that tells me the balance can break at any second. I remain a white man of 35 years, black hair plastered to my forehead with sweat. My body still pinned upright against the acacia tree by thick rope that allows no retreat. The lion takes one sharp step closer, closing the last margin of safety, its head level with my chest, breath visible in the heat. My heart races violently, but I force my body to stay low and still, resisting the instinct to pull away or tense up. The rope cuts into my ribs as my chest expands, reminding me that panic will only turn restraint into a trigger. For a brief moment, the lion's eyes harden, its shoulders dipping, a clear signal that a charge is possible. I make a single deliberate decision. I slowly lower my head and avert my gaze completely, exposing my neck and removing myself as a challenge. The movement is minimal, controlled, and final, leaving me fully vulnerable and defenseless. The lion halts mid-motion, claws pressing into the soil, its body frozen between attack and withdrawal. Seconds stretch unbearably as dust settles around its paws and the savanna holds its breath. Then the lion lifts its head, steps back once, and breaks the direct line, choosing distance over dominance. In that instant, the difference between death and survival is decided by restraint, not strength. The male lion turns its body fully away from me, its massive frame moving calmly back into the tall savanna grass without looking over its shoulder. I remain a white man of 35 years, black hair soaked with sweat, still tied upright against the acacia tree, but now facing open space instead of imminent death. The grass closes behind the lion as it walks off, its shape dissolving into the landscape until only wind and distance remain. My breathing slows for the first time, each breath deeper, steadier, as the immediate threat disappears completely. Minutes pass, and the savanna feels different, no longer frozen but alive again with movement, light and sound. In the distance, a safari vehicle approaches, its shape growing clearer against the flat horizon as it slows near the tree. Trained wildlife rangers step out carefully, alert and controlled, immediately assessing the rope and my condition. They cut through the thick bindings with deliberate precision, freeing my chest, my arms, and finally my wrists from the acacia trunk. I step away from the tree on unsteady legs, no longer restrained, no longer exposed, standing freely on the open savanna soil. The rangers signal that the area is secure, watching the grass until they are certain the lion does not return. I look back once at the tree, the rope hanging loose against its bark, a silent marker of how close the moment came. As the vehicle carries me away across the savanna, the horizon opens wide again, and I leave alive, unharmed, and permanently changed by restraint, survival, and respect for the wild.